In the heart of the nation where laughter's the key, Natch has the podcast, join the revelry. Taking the Mickey with positive spin. Country folks unite and let the Nat Chat begin. Nat Chat where the laughter's free. Spinning tales about politics with positivity.
We're still at state conference, which is why there's atmosphere and background noise, which we love.
Noise, yes.
And this is the first time I've had you on as leader.
Yes.
Danny O'Brien, how are you?
I'm very well. It's great to be with you as leader of the Nationals.
Yeah, well, it's been, nearly 6 months? It's been 6 months.
Yeah, nearly.
Yeah.
End of November, yeah.
How are you finding it?
It's a fascinating experience.
That's a political answer. Give me the truth. Come on.
The truth is particularly, I've been around politics 25 years and been an MP for 10, and so you know what the sort of jobs that you're going to come across as a leader. You've seen past leaders have to deal with them and all that sort of thing, but it's not until you actually have to do it that you really understand and deal with them. But look, there's been no major dramas. There's always the issues of managing people, managing expectations, making judgment calls, and that's just in opposition. So imagine what it'd be like.
Yeah, I was
going to
say, managing people's surely the heart. I mean, in business, managing staff's the biggest challenge. Has that been your biggest challenge so far?
Luckily, we've got such a good team. Yeah, the Nats have always been a good team, and we back each other and work together, and that makes it easier.
Some big personalities, though.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't there?
But look, it wouldn't be politics. We're not all... No. None of us are shrinking violets, are we?
No.
I mean, I'm looking at one right now.
I was going to say, what do you mean? I'm a shy, retiring, quiet little flower.
You are, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very delicate.
But you and that's one of the good things, again, about the Nats, that we're all confident...
Are we?
Confident people who are...
reasonably, I suppose.
But we're not full of ourselves.
I was going to say, we're not egomaniacs. You can say that.
It was only this week. Who was I talking to? It doesn't matter, but not for a public podcast anyway.
Maybe not.
But who said, when I was younger, I thought politicians would be all just really serious and everything. And you guys actually are quite fun.
Yeah.
And... we absolutely take it seriously, but I think it's important not to take ourselves too seriously.
Correct. And I said this to Bridget earlier. I'm not a politician. I'm a community representative, which is probably why we're a bit different anyway. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. And I actually just gave my first speech as leader at a conference.
It was a good one too. Well done.
Oh, was it? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take that.
I don't give them out very often, so do take it and put it in your pocket.
But in preparing it, I went back to my inaugural speech as an MP.
Did you?
And one of the things I said was, I'm the youngest of 7. If I ever get too big for my boots in this job, my siblings will bring me down. And I sort of, long story, but I basically had 2 maiden speeches because I was in the upper house for a year and then a year later in the lower house. And when I did my second one, I said, in addition to the family bringing me down, I've now had 12 months with my Nationals family. I know they'll bring me down if I get too big for my boots.
Well, that's exactly right.
And that's sort of how we are. If I got all airs and graces or all power hungry or whatever, I'd get slapped around the chops pretty quickly, wouldn't I?
Well, I mean, some of us are probably more direct and forthright in presenting you with feedback. The good senator's back.
I'd like to, you said that earlier in the conference, I want an example. I want a live example of this forthright feedback.
Okay.
Excuse me, we're doing a podcast here.
Yeah. No, I'll give you an example. I remember quite clearly, very early on in Danny's leadership, during a question time and walking out on a Thursday, and Danny said, "What did you think of question time this week?" And I went,
okay, right.
There you go. I mean, it's not live. Yeah, I'll beep it out. It's fine. So there you go.
Yeah.
But you never left wondering what I think, right?
It's been much better since, hasn't it, Jade?
It has been much better. The last week was actually really good.
Yeah.
I thought.
I
mean, I only saw 20 minutes of it.
Because you got kicked out and then got an extra time, and God's honest truth, it was partly my fault because I actually engaged with you. And
I was going to say partly your fault.
Well, I can't be held responsible for all your actions, but I did invite you to make a second interjection as you were leaving, and that's what got you the extra hour kicked out, and I apologise to the people of Mildura for that.
I'm sure it would probably win me more votes than it loses me, but I was right in what I was saying, and I got that information directly from you, so yeah. But
look, it's... To go back to answering your question, it is genuinely a privilege to lead, and for a while in the job, to be honest, actually, even still now, 6 months later, occasionally I get introduced as or referred to as the leader of the Nationals. And I go, oh, my God, that's me. It's not an imposter syndrome thing, but I do distinctly recall only 2 or 3 weeks after I started the job, and as you know, I'd done a tour around the whole state, been to everyone's electorate, and I'd got home, was doing the early morning walk with the dogs down the driveway, listening to the morning news, and I thought, and an issue came on, and I thought, oh, that's a tricky one. How are we going to handle that? And then it dawned on me, you've got to handle that.
Yeah, that's
it's
a you problem.
You've got to work out how we're going to handle
that's
that.
That's an is you.
Not an is
not
me.
An is me.
Exactly. So, so now I'm realising that, and it's great. It's really good, and it's good to be able to try and shape things as well. So,
are you losing sleep? Apart from... I mean, you haven't got any hair left to lose. Lost a bit of weight.
I've torn all that out. Yeah. I can recommend leadership of a party as a good weight loss measure. I was trying to lose a bit of weight anyway, so it's actually been good. I'd already lost quite a few kilos, and then I met my goal, shall we say, by becoming leader of the Nationals.
Just through stress and anxiety?
A little bit of that, but you particularly with Parliament sitting, you just don't have any time, so you're not eating well, and I've got to get better at managing that side of things. A bit of a control freak sometimes, and I feel like I've got to be on across everything.
A control freak?
Yeah.
Micromanager? You've never micromanaged me.
No, I wouldn't. I'd reject micromanager, but yeah.
But you'll accept control freak? Okay.
All right.
Sure.
This is enough introspection. Let's get on with the topic.
Sorry, it's a podcast. I like to go for the hard-hitting questions that nobody else asks.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the emergency services tax?
Love to.
There's been a lot of rhetoric around that we did have an effect, and we've been given as you put it, a stay of execution. Mm-hmm. It's only for 12 months, though. And great in being able to achieve that. I mean, the public, and this is what I talk about, power of the people, right? When you have thousands of people protesting out the front, which looked confronting if they were protesting against you.
Absolutely.
So what happens now, and how big of a hole does it leave in the budget?
Well, this is the thing. It's a victory of sorts for us and for regional Victorians, but you don't fix a bad tax by postponing it for 12 months. It's still a bad tax. It's still an outrageous assault on all Victorians, but particularly farmers. And I think the government obviously politically acknowledged that yesterday and said, OK, well, we're going to give a pause for 12 months on farmers. Doesn't make the problem go away, and particularly doesn't make the problem go away for the rest of us.
I was going to say, what about this? Was not just a farmer's tax, though.
Well, that's right. And so every residential property, every commercial property are doubling. Their rate will double. Every industrial property goes up by 64%. So everyone's copying a massive whack. It's $3 billion extra over the forward estimates we learnt in the budget 2 weeks ago.
How much did you say? Sorry, I'm writing this down because pay act starts next week.
Yeah, $3 billion. And so that's a massive hit on each and every Victorian, because, of course, it's not just the property owner that pays. One of the other things that we discovered through the bill process, and I got my colleague Melina Barth to ask a question about why the increases. Sorry, getting technical, but roughly speaking...
Is it indexed?
No.
It's not indexed, is it?
Well, that's what I was wondering. So the fire services levy was roughly raising about $1 billion.
Yep.
Next year, the new levy will raise 1.6, and in the 3 out years in the budget papers, it raises 1.8. Very rough figures.
Yes.
I asked the minister via Melina, the treasurer, sorry, what's that increase? Is it indexation? Is it expected increase in land values or whatever? And no, the answer is that's the introduction of this new category of non-principal place of residence. So at the moment... It's either resident or commercial or industrial or primary production, farmers. They're introducing a new category, basically for second residences, i.e. landlords.
Property providers, don't we call them these days?
Rental providers, I think we call them. That's the technical
whatever.
term.
Landlords.
Now, over the 4 years, it's over $500 million extra revenue for the government. In other words, tax on those people who've got a second residence.
In a housing crisis.
So who's going to pay for that?
Renters. Oh my God.
Renters are going to pay for that. So this notion that this was a farmer's tax and now we've put it off for 12 months so it's okay. Renters are going to cop that.
But this is the thing that really grinds my gears, and this comes from a government who's never actually lived in the real world landlords are evil, et cetera, except landlords are the ones that provide rental properties.
Uh-huh.
So if you disincentivise investment because back in the day, and you're a Gen X like me, aren't you?
The best of them.
Okay, yes, great. We were always encouraged from a very early age. Stock market's too volatile, invest in bricks and mortar. That's how I was brought up. You always invest in property. Once you've got it, never sell it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the never sell it because there's windfall gains tax to be had with that. So
Capital gains.
Yeah, exactly.
All of those.
So that's taken care of, but also the putting a tenant in it with the Residential Tenancies Act and all of the other red tape and policies has really disincentivised long-term rentals.
Absolutely. Land tax for a start.
Yeah.
And now to add this, and I think this is one, we did get a story in the Herald Sun about it about 2 months ago, about this component, but we didn't know until the budget how much this extra is going to be.
How much did you say it was?
Well, technically roughly
$500 million?
Yeah, $525 million over 4 years. So it's a lot of money, and yeah, that gets passed on. And to your point about the government not understanding, I literally asked the then Treasurer Tim Pallas in PAYAC last year, so in the budget hearings, do you understand that these increases in land tax, as it was at the time, and the Airbnb tax and the windfall gains tax and the vacant residential land tax, do you understand that economics says if they can be passed on, they will be? That,
So I can ask questions like that?
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
Landlords can only absorb so much. And he just flat out denied it. Oh, no. Our advice is, our research shows that there are other factors that are far more important than these taxes.
Sorry?
When it comes to rental prices. That's exactly what he said.
You're kidding, aren't you?
Well, and I thought at the time, either you're just flat out lying or you've really got no idea how the economy works.
That's completely ignorant, which is negligent of our government of the day to have someone so ignorant and or incompetent.
And he's been the Treasurer for 10 years.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Any wonder we're in the state we're in.
So that's a challenge, because if the government doesn't understand that, and what I really can't get, and obviously ministers make decisions, treasurers make decisions, but surely Treasury, the officials in the Treasury Department said to them, hey, this is going to have an impact at this end as well. Rental crisis, cost of living, housing crisis. Let's keep taxing housing. It just doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. So where's it coming from, and why is it a socialist-driven thing that they just want all housing? So. Yeah, I do too.
And I think it's notwithstanding that the politically correct term now is rental provider, not landlord, and landlord does sound nasty, doesn't it? But
only because we've been gaslit into thinking that it is.
True, but. And this is to my point, and we actually used this example asking Pallas a question last year. I've got some constituents from Sale. They're retired teachers. They've got 4 units in Sale that's their super. And they wrote to me about it because they said, we go out of our way to get tenants who are single mums and pensioners, which at that time at least, the 4 units were all in that category. Their land tax bill had gone up from... roughly the figures was $380 3 years ago to $2,800 last year. So, massive increases. And they were saying to us, they're teachers. They're not exactly...
flush with cash.
And they're not capitalists.
No, if anything, quite the other way.
They're probably Labor voters.
Yeah.
Due respects to them. But they just said, well, how do we not... pass that on. And on top of, as you said, the changes to the Residential Tenancies Act over the last couple of years that mean you've got to get your appliances checked every 12 months and pay for someone to do it.
Which costs a fortune, by the way.
Money, now you've got to put an air conditioning in, all that sort of stuff, all of which is nice, but you need to understand, if you add those costs and red tape, there's going to be less housing available.
Exactly.
And if there's less housing available, what happens? The price of rent goes through the roof.
Exactly. And there are a lot of good rental providers, landlords.
Yep.
I'm a landlord. I don't mind being called a landlord. I have had, over the 12 years or whatever, I've had my second property. I've had 2 tenants, so they're really long-term, and I have absorbed so much of that cost to keep. One is a teacher, in fact, was teaching my stepkids, have done so much work to keep a cap on it, and it was cheap too. We're talking under $300 a week or whatever. But I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Land tax on that place which I think I'll dispute, has gone up to $1,000.
Wow.
It was 12 months ago. It was 300 or something.
And look, yeah, I'm like you. I've been a renter and I've been a landlord, and you see the good and the bad in everyone, but just the Economics 101, and Tim Bellis actually said this last year. He literally quoted Economics 101, which really hit me in the funnies, because I was like, you really don't understand what Economics 101 is. But yeah, if you make it too difficult or too costly for someone to provide a rental property, there's going to be less of them. They're going to pull out, they're going to sell it. Now, in theory, that means we're selling it to potentially first home buyers who might then live in it.
No, we're not.
But it doesn't actually happen that way. It's no good for the 23-year-old who's just finished uni and needs to rent, because they haven't had time to save up money and buy and pay a deposit on a house. We need those people to be providing houses. And the socialists, if I go literally to the Greens, I think they would have no such thing as private
No, they wouldn't.
landlords. They'd want everything to be government owned, and we know how that worked in the communist world.
I was going to say that's socialism 101, isn't it?
Hasn't worked. There's sort of a history of that. It didn't really work.
Well, Margaret Thatcher said that socialism's a great idea until you run out of other people's money.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, and again, I spoke to Bridget about her in budget estimates, because she's been my spirit animal for a long, long time, and she's an animal in those things. I'm now doing budget estimates in place of you. Big shoes to fill.
No.
You're not going to be there, are you? You're not going to be watching? Can you just give me
I'm coming in on day one.
Oh my God.
Just to be over your shoulder.
Why?
Well, I'm actually coming in because I've got the Minister for Regional Development, and I'm the Shadow Minister for Regional Development. So
on day one, we've got Jacqueline, Jacinta, and
Yep, and Vicky Ward, Emergency Services.
And Vicky Ward's
so it's all me.
Yeah.
As Shadow. But look, you'll be fine. I keep telling, because the ministers are all saying, we're going to miss you at PAYAC this year. I mean, no, you're not.
No, you won't.
You're going to have Jade ripping shreds off you.
But I'll be, well...
No, you don't rip shreds. You'll be probing, you'll be...
diplomatic.
Yep.
I've been working on some personal development strategies to try and install a filter between my brain and my mouth. Has that worked?
Well, not too much. Don't do it too much.
No, I know, but
we need a bit
still, again, I don't want to be... You can't constantly put up with me going, Danny, question time today was... You can't... That's going to get old really quickly, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but you'll be great. I mean, you're quick on your feet, you're smart, and you can be tough when you need to be, and that's exactly what you need to be in PAYAC. It's not something that is easy. Bridget will tell you that it takes time to get your head around it and get your head around the budget and how it works, but I'm sure you'll do a great job holding this government to account and holding the public service to account. It's one of the things I've said to the Labor members. Okay, you've got a job, you're going to promote the government and ask easy questions to the minister, but you actually also should be holding the public servants to account.
Yeah.
That's part of what it is.
Yeah.
This is not just the politics. This is an important part of our democracy, that the executive is held to account by the parliament, and sadly government members don't do that.
Of course they don't.
So your job... You've got 2 weeks to bring the government down, and I wish you all the best. Okay,
no worries. Challenge accepted. Can we talk about conference here, because we've just come out for afternoon tea, and I have literally only just finished lunch.
Oh, I'm looking at the
First
slice.
question.
There's some good slices there.
Yeah. Yes. There's ginger kisses or macarons or something there too. How much do you love conference?
I do. I actually do love conference because there's...
It's boring in this conference, isn't it?
You got your turn a few weeks ago. What is that? Is it delicious? Anyway, go on.
I do love conference. It's great. You see the membership every year. I mean, many of them you see at State Council and your own branch meetings and everything, but some people you only see at conference every year, and it's great to catch up with them. There's people that I've been catching up with at conference literally for 25 years. There's people who are catching up with each other who have been doing so for 50 and 60 years. But the debate's good. I mean, sometimes we get a bit nervous, or we have got a bit nervous in previous years about, this motion's a bit controversial, might be a bit divisive, whatever. That's bloody great. It's fantastic to have a few things that we have a ding-dong argument over.
Yeah.
That's democracy.
Correct.
And we're a grassroots party, and that's our grassroots having their say.
Yeah.
And sometimes you look at this and you go, that is crazy. That motion, that is really dumb.
Speaking of which number are we up to? There's one coming up, 37. I meant to ask Danny McCurdy about this. 37 is one from the Women's Executive, and we had the new president, the National's newest Nepo baby, on... and motion 37 is that this conference calls on the Allan Labor government to implement a program for singing classes to be introduced at all levels of primary school education as part of the curriculum.
I think this is Nanny Marie. Melina Barth.
Fully supportive.
Are you?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to back them in on this one.
I think I'll be strongly voting against that one.
Why?
No.
Tell me why.
I'm only kidding, but
no, you're not.
There are
It's not going to get up.
there are some of these ones that you'd say, is that a priority
It's
for
not.
us?
Yeah, I was going to
And
say it's nice, but it would cost nothing.
No, that's right.
Or actually, it might, because when we were at primary school, there were the Let's Sing music books. Do you remember them?
Remember what they were called the other day? Let's Sing.
Yeah, and they
with
were
the cartoons.
Yes, but they were produced by the ABC with Lou. What's his name? He died recently. Lewing, the cartoonist.
Lunig. Yeah.
So he used to do the artwork for the front. I've still got stacks of them in my organ chair.
Right.
Because I did the organ and ballroom dancing.
Can I share with you the Let's Sing Danny O'Brien childhood story?
Please.
We did the recorder, like every kid in the.
And how useful has that been, though? I mean, when you need to summon a damn leprechaun.
or banish a demon.
Danny, I think I'm going to shortly and head over the hill. All right? Just want to let you know.
You got to stay for our panel session.
We were just...
about to do.
I was going to say, you got to stay. Yes.
3 o'clock. Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Then
Back in your box, Chocolate. We're talking about summoning demons, and then you turn up. Yeah. It's not... He just loves the attention.
All the extra work for you to edit this now.
I know, that's fine.
Let's Sing. So I was playing recorder, but none of us boys got how you play a recorder. So I used to just literally put it in my mouth and do the fingers thing, like just move my fingers up and
That's
down.
what he said.
Yeah. And I remember one day one of the girls in the class came over to me and she said, "You're so good at the recorder." And I was literally not even playing.
Did she have a crush on you?
Well, obviously.
Yeah. I was sorry. Momentary lapse of
No, I don't think so.
concentration.
It's actually just a friend of mine. But yes, Let's Sing. So back into that. This is one of the things with conference motions. Sometimes not by the time they get to conference, they've been vetted and worked out and everything. But sometimes at our branches, people go, "We ought to do this." And you go, I think we've already done that. And they should, make people drive on the left-hand side of the road. And you go, yeah, no,
You've done that.
That's already a law.
Yeah.
We do that.
There was one though earlier. I think it was a Young Nats one about the speed limit overtaking trucks. Mm-hmm. And it was the way it was worded. I couldn't really agree with it because it was on dual highways, and I think there was 2 that mashed in together. It didn't really make any sense. But I reckon there is one for. And maybe this is one that we could move next year, that we get rid of the speed limit when overtaking road trains and B triples and B quads.
Yep.
Because we're never going to get dual highways like on the Murray Valley Highway or anything like that. So there's no overtaking lanes.
Yep.
So that's the sort of thing that branches, if you become a member, I'm giving you an opportunity to pitch becoming a member.
Little plug here.
Yeah. Have your say. Become a member.
More directly to today in the roads portfolio that I have the pleasure of holding. One was the need for us to develop an agricultural freight strategy, and I actually think probably just a regional freight strategy, not just ag, but all the products that we produce. And the second one, which I think would be a big head nod for a lot of people, is tightening up the rules around roadwork speed limits.
Yeah.
I.e., you don't leave it at 60 all weekend when there's no one there and no work happening, unless there's a bloody good reason. Sometimes the state of the road or whatever requires that, but that's a frustration for people. And I think they're sort of things that, I'll be putting that into the policy mix because they're good ideas. And
common sense.
They come from the grassroots.
Yeah, common sense. And this is the one I was talking about, being able to have that ability to overtake. Because sometimes you do on highways with straight roads out in the bush, you can get up to 130, 140 quickly when you're trying to overtake a road train safely, but then you're worried about whether there's a cop
up the road.
Yeah. So all behind you that you can't
See,
You know?
until I got into politics, I just assumed that there was an exemption when you're overtaking.
Oh, there's not, Danny.
There's
That's
not.
something we haven't done.
And I was like, oh, right, so you're actually still not allowed to speed even if you're overtaking. Cool. Good to know.
And I was going to say, yeah, good to know. Will it change your driving behaviour? Probably not.
Well, I drive very carefully.
Of course you do. You're the Shadow Minister for Roads and Road Safety. I would
Correct.
certainly hope so.
Yes.
And also you have lots of freeways and stuff down in Gippsland.
Yeah, look, Gippsland, well, Sale to Melbourne is freeway, which is good, but the rest of the electorate,
How long does it take you to get to Melbourne from your place?
2.5 hours if there is no traffic. It's 3 on most occasions, but yeah.
That's cute. Nice.
We're gonna have one of those arguments now about
No,
who's
we're
got
not.
the bigger open
I'll
spaces.
tell you what, well, we've obviously got the bigger open spaces.
Yeah.
Like, there's no argument there.
No, true.
I did have a conversation with, because we can talk about one of the policies that Labor's come up with, the public transport for under 18s.
Oh yeah,
Not a bad one. If you can use it.
yeah. If you've got public transport,
And we do not. No. We don't have a train, haven't had for 30 odd years. But I was talking to Matthew Guy the other day and was toying around the idea of inland rail as well, with the likes of, there's a gentleman in Mildura that's quite passionate about this, and linking up
Broken Hill.
John Irwin, Broken Hill.
He had the same conversation with me after he had that conversation with you. So
Did he?
Yeah, he obviously was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Matthew Guy being the Shadow Minister for Public Transport, of course.
And the biggest train nerd I know.
He is a very big train spotter.
Yeah, but he also, Transporter, you're Gen X. You
Gen
remember?
X.
I was going to say, you remember the movie, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to call Matthew Guy a train spotter.
Well, I never actually got the connection to train spotting and the movie itself. But yes, they are very different
I was going to
things.
say,
I
it's
understand.
just the title of the movie.
Yeah.
That's about it. Anyway,
It's a thing, though,
It is
train
a-
spotters.
Yep.
Yeah. Plane spotters as well. That's a thing.
Plane spotters, yeah, we get that.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that, well, no, they're not the ones, but whatever. We'll talk about the conspiracy theorists
Let's
in a minute.
move on.
Yeah. No, we'll come back to that. But he reckons it's not that hard to actually consider and putting a business case together to bring back the Mildura passenger rail.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm sure it's not that hard to consider.
Well, it's not hard to consider. Let's consider it.
Let's look at the mess that the Labor government made of the
Yeah.
Murray Basin Rail project, which would have been a step towards
Yeah.
passenger trains, and they've just wasted so much money on not getting any of that done that we're starting from behind scratch, I guess, even to do it. But look,
But you could go to Maryborough. You could at least have, 2 velocity carriages, so you could go at 110 and change trains at Maryborough. Couldn't you?
Yep.
Simple.
now I'm going to have to be rude, Jade. Bennett,
Cheap. And we've got to go because the
I've
panel's on.
I've got a panel on very shortly to talk
Great.
about the emergency services.
So this is what we did with Bridget, and
Yep.
she said we'll do a part 2, and listeners can ask her anything, and she did a video at the same time. So can you please do that?
What am I going to say? Am I introducing part 2 or am I ending
You
part 1?
I'm Danny, leader of the Nationals, Danny O'Brien, and I'll be back for part 2 on Nat Chat, where you can ask me anything.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
Hi everyone, I'm Danny O'Brien, leader of the Nationals. We're just wrapping up part 1 of Nat Chat with me, but we're going to do part 2, and you can send in questions and I'll answer them as best I can. Send them in to Jade and we'll chat on Nat Chat.
Great. That was, there's that trusty, steady hand that we know and love. Danny O'Brien, thank you very much.
You're the best.
In the heart of the nation where laughter's the key, Nat Chat's the podcast, join the revelry. Taking the Mickey with positive spin. Country folks unite, let the Nat Chat begin. Nat Chat where the laughter's free. Spin tales about politics with positivity.